This is Pimpri Chinchwad, one of the newest smart cities of India. What was once a barren piece of land on the outskirts of Pune city in Maharashtra has rapidly developed into one of the fastest growing urban towns in the country. Pimpri Chinchwad also happens to be one of the biggest industrial hubs of Asia, home to over 4,000 big and small manufacturing companies. But this growing urbanization has led to a significant increase in the amount of waste generated. Every day, close to 1,200 tons of waste is collected by the Pimpri Chinchwad Municipal Corporation. Out of this, 700 tons is dry waste and roughly 500 tons is wet. With a population of nearly 3 million and growing, waste segregation has been a big challenge for the civic authorities.
We were facing issues of segregation, which is source-based segregation, especially in the slum areas. We were doing the IAC, we were doing the entire awareness program, etc. But the results weren't really coming through. PCMC, if you look at the total overall milieu of the population, it's primarily blue-collar people who are working in the industries, almost about 104 slums now.
In 2022, the city's municipal corporation started a unique initiative to combat the problem. They piloted a zero-waste mission at Gauli Mata, one of their slum communities. This meant training nearly 375 families to segregate their dry, wet and hazardous waste. Not an easy task. The civic authorities decided to run it as a community-based ownership project by roping in 10 women from the local self-help group.
काही आम्ही सकाळी डोर ते डोर कचरा घ्यायला प्रत्येकांच्या घरी जातो आणि तिथून मग कलेक्शन करून इथं आणतो आणि इथून मग वेगवेगळा करून मशीनीमध्ये सेग्रिगेशन करतो. आमचा रोजचा कचरा 300-350 येतो वल्ला आणि 500-550 सुका येतो, म्हणजे असं प्लास्टिक वगैरे येते.
At a disposal center set up close to the community, this waste is then segregated further. The dry waste is collected to be recycled, the wet waste is used to create organic compost, while the hazardous waste is disposed of in an incinerator. This army of women ensures that no waste whatsoever leaves the community unattended. Today, Gauli Mata successfully runs a circular economy of zero waste, but getting here wasn't easy.
एक आम्हाला 2-4 महिने खूप त्रास झाला की म्हणजे प्रत्येकांना समजून सांगणे की कचरा वल्ला सुका वेगळा द्या म्हणून. ज्यावेळेस आम्ही वल्ला सुका कचरा लोकांना सांगायला जायचो घरी, तर ते लोक मला विचारायचे की आम्ही कुठे ठेवणार, आमची 10 बाय 10ची घरं आहेत, तुझ्या घरी आणून टाकू का. मी म्हणायचे माझ्या घरी आणा, म्हणजे जर आपला परिसर स्वच्छ होणार असेल तर ठेवा माझ्या इथं आणून. मी एवढं बी बोलायचे. माझं पण घर 10 बाय 10चंच आहे. इथं झोपडपट्टी असल्यामुळे सगळ्यांची घरं काही मोठी नाहीत, छोटीच घरं आहेत. माझ्या स्वतःच्या घरची पण नाही म्हणत होती पहिले. माझे मिस्टर पण बोले की नाही काम करायचं, असलं काम करणं आपल्या लोकांना चांगलं वाटत नाही. मी बोले नाही की जर आपण काम केलं तर आपला परिसर स्वच्छ राहील. आणि मग माझ्या साथी महिला म्हणजे ह्या म्हणजे 10 महिला आहेत, तर त्यांना सांगितलं तर त्या बोलल्या करूया, स्वच्छतेचं काहीतरी फायदा होईल आपल्याला.
Every woman participating in the zero waste project here gets paid 10,000 rupees monthly by the civic corporation. The success at Gauli Mata has now encouraged the municipal office to scale this up to 7 more communities with a similar demographic.
They are doing something which is good and something which is quote-unquote honorable and not something which is to be looked down upon. Also, the positive result has been that it's resulted in livelihood for these ladies. It has resulted in a steady stream of income from them. It has also resulted into a cleaner slum. It has resulted into a more segregated waste coming out of the slums and also helping our gardens from the waste that gets generated. We've also converted the manure that gets generated through our Harit brand, and we are also selling that brand in 1 kg, 2 kg, 5 kg bags as well.
Even as the municipal corporation is looking to widen the scope of the zero waste project across the city, one woman has already been leading the way for sustainable waste management across PCMC's municipal schools. Archana More is a social worker who has been training the students and staff of 7 municipal schools across Pimpri Chinchwad on the concept of zero waste management for more than a year now.
तो ये गीला कचरा में क्या होता है, जैसे सुबह उठे अपन, फिर उठने के बाद जैसे झाड़ते हैं, तो अभी अपने दीदी से यहाँ पे झाड़ते हैं, तो फिर पाला पाचोड़ा आता है, तो फिर उसका क्या करें, वो डस्टबिन में नहीं डाले तो कंपोस्ट पिट में डाले.
Upon realizing that none of these schools practiced source segregation, she took the onus, starting out on her own and going from school to school, explaining what it really meant to be a zero waste school community.
पिंपरी चिंचवड शहर में 300-350 कचरा कुंड थे. तो कुंड ऐसे थे, चौक में थे, तो कुछ स्कूल के बाजू में थे. तो ये कचरा कुंड हटाने का काम उन्होंने किया. तभी कचरा कुंड हटाने के बाद लोग वहीं पे कचरा लाके डालते थे. जहाँ जहाँ स्कूल में गई और स्कूल में देख रही थी, तो फिर बाद में मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ये तो स्कूल का भी कचरा है जो बाहर ही जा रहा है. यानी कचरे की गाड़ी इतना रेगुलर नहीं आती थी, और छोटे छोटे बस्ती में तो कचरा की गाड़ी घुसती भी नहीं. तो फिर बाद में जैसे मैं स्कूल में भी गए तो क्लास में भी कचरा था. ये दरवाजे के पीछे ऐसा कचरा रहता था. तो फिर बाद में इसको कचरे को घर यानी गार्बेज एरिया ऐसे मैंने स्कूल में एक सेटअप किया. फिर वो गार्बेज एरिया बना दिया, और मैम गार्बेज एरिया भी ऐसा बना दिया कि वहाँ भी अवेयरनेस हो जाए कि गीला कचरा, सूखा कचरा और घातक कचरा कौन सा है. और फिर बाद में बच्चों को मैंने पढ़ाना चालू किया कि देखो ये सूखा कचरा है, ये प्लास्टिक है, ये बड़े तौर पे ऊपर कैसे जमा रखे.
Wonderful, great. Keep your monster bottle down. Can you tell me what is this?
To pique curiosity and engagement levels amongst children, devising fun interventions has worked well for Archana, like creating this monster bottle to collect plastic waste.
Okay, what is it written? Plastic, kachra, ethane, taka. Means what?
We want to put that plastic in that box.
Why do you think I should put plastic in this? What's wrong? I can keep it. I can just put it somewhere. Yes, Anushka?
We can recycle
Recycle.
and run new.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you, Sudha.
An instant hit among students, they now practice the same routine at home, collecting plastic and bringing it back to school for recycling.
Whenever I eat chips, biscuits, so instead of throwing them in the dustbin, I remember that Archana Didi told that we don't have to throw it in the dustbin, we have to throw it in this monster bottle. So then I told my mom that like this our teacher means Archana Didi told us like we don't have to throw this in the dustbin instead of throwing it in, so we have to put it in the monster bottle. Instead of using plastic bottle and plastic tiffins, we use steel bottle and steel tiffins, and this rule is for everyone in the school.
जे आपलं नैसर्गिक आहे, जी खतं आहेत, याचा जर आपण वापर केला तर आपल्याला चांगल्या प्रकारे झाडांची सुद्धा वाढ होते, त्यांना आवश्यक असणारे सगळे घटक मिळतात आणि आपला कचराच तयार होत नाही.
With the help of the municipal authorities, Archana has also got compost pits built inside schools to recycle wet waste. Amongst them is the municipal school in Mohannagar that was recently awarded the cleanest school in the city.
माझ्या शाळेत जी झाडं आहेत, ह्या झाडांचा सुका ओला कचरा, पानापाचोळा खाली पडतो, हे आम्ही सगळे मिळून उचलतो. आमचे सफाई कर्मचारी मदत करतात आणि उचलल्यानंतर आम्ही कंपोस्ट बिन संकल्पना राबवलेली आहे. त्या कंपोस्ट बिनमध्ये आम्ही एकत्र करतो आणि केल्यानंतर काही कालावधीनंतर त्याचं असं सेंद्रिय खत तयार होतं की नैसर्गिक खत हे कधीही चांगलं आरोग्याला असतं. हे मुलांना आम्ही समजून देतो, मुलंही त्याप्रमाणे काळजी घेतात. आणि मग आम्ही आमच्या शाळेमध्ये 2 परसबागा निर्माण केलेल्या आहेत. या परसबागेमध्ये वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या फळभाज्या आहेत, पालेभाज्या आहेत आणि पालेभाज्या, फळभाज्या आणि फुलांची झाडं आहेत.
Over the last 2 years, the Park Royal Housing Society in the residential neighborhood of Pimpri Chinchwad has been adjudged a 5-star society. This means every resident here is entitled to property tax benefits up to 10%, all because it is a zero-waste society and doesn't send out 99% of its waste into the city.
In terms of the societies, now we are also have gone for zero waste societies, but those numbers are still creeping up. We have declared few incentives also. For example, in our property taxation, if you're processing your wet waste, we are giving 5% incentive in property tax. If it's a zero waste society, we are giving 8% incentive. If it also involves solar, STP and other components, up till a 10% incentive that we are giving in property tax.
This residential complex is amongst another 100 in PCMC that practices zero waste, and among 50 that have sewage treatment plants set up inside the complex.
Sewage treatment plant is basically for recycling the water. So the water that comes from the flush for each flat, that gets deposited in the sewage tanks, from where we have a separate process which distills the water and cleans it up, ready for use in the flush tank again. So we have to top up that water with some fresh water, but that is how it works. And that water is used for the flush tanks as well as the gardening purposes. So we don't throw the sewage water outside the society, from any source.
So far, the smart city of Pimpri Chinchwad has spent 270 crores on sustainable waste segregation and management. But experts believe that for manufacturing hub towns like this one, zero waste can be fully achieved only if industrial waste segregation is prioritized first.
The feasibility really comes from 2-3 other ways in the way in which we make policies. For example, what is facilitative of industry? Okay? And if one begins to charge industry that it holds the primary responsibility of also not only segregating its waste but also the safe disposal of its waste, then the costs, where does one build those in? So we begin with the industry, which becomes the core, and then we need to move to these residential areas, the schools, the hospitals. All of this is important.
Amita Bhide is a professor of sustainable urban policy and governance. On the zero waste model at Pimpri Chinchwad, she points out how a shift in cultural mindsets on the responsibility of waste is a big step for the city.
By considering waste management as a fully municipal category, as a property of the municipality, from which there is a slow transition which is happening to think of waste as also a societal responsibility, where all generators of waste are also responsible for waste management. I think that is the slow transition which one sees happening in Indian cities, which is positive. And I see the developments in Pimpri Chinchwad as very much in line with this slow transition. So beginning site to site.
This community-owned and led model of zero waste in the city of Pimpri Chinchwad has effectively shown that it is possible for every individual to do their bit.
मी सगळीकडे सांगते, उलट मी गावी गेले, माझं गाव वाई महाबळेश्वर आहे, मी तिकडे गेले तरी सांगते लोकांना असा कचरा टाकू नका. आमची झोपडपट्टी असतानाही आम्ही तिथं सगळं व्यवस्थित स्वच्छ केलेलं आहे. आणि शहरात एवढं आपण स्वच्छ करतो तर ग्रामीण भागात पण करू शकतो.
If we follow these rules, it will be very easy for us to survive on the earth wherever we live in our city. So we should tell everyone that follow this. We don't have to throw garbage anywhere on the road. This is very harmful for us and for the creatures too. So in the future, it will be very easy for us. Like there will be no pollution, nothing. So it will be very like natural things we can see.
Thanks for watching Eco India. If you like the story, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Scroll.in on YouTube.